Yeah.
Round this
But
up.
no, I was saying like I get the thought to like stop and get gas and I be in a car with somebody and then I be like, I don't know, you think I should stop and get gas? And they be like, well, I mean, I've been driving all week and gas has been pretty low all week, so I don't expect it. And I'd be like, okay, I'm not. And the next thing I wake up in the morning, it don't went up like 10 cent or 10. You know what I mean? It's like there was a reason why. That's a very small example, but
Yeah.
things like that have happened so many, much greater in
Yeah.
consequence, far greater in consequence.
Yeah.
But things like that have happened and they happen. That to me is a representation of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil because it's like but you could have also just listened and just done it and been good. But you chose to learn the hard way of why this was not good.
Hmm. Or you
You,
chose to learn what it means to not trust yourself.
amen.
Because whatever it
Amen.
is, it's like the true lesson is that
To
you
trust
stop trusting
yourself.
yourself
Amen.
every time
Amen,
over and over again.
Keisha.
Thank you. I'm learning from
Amen.
being around you, sis. I'm
Oh,
picking up
hush.
some stuff.
But it's true. The lesson is like you got to trust yourself. And that's what I believe my lesson has been also with this journey, too. In a
Mm,
lot of ways. I
mm,
mean, it's been a lot of lessons. It's been a
mm.
lot of things, but I thank God for it. I really do believe that it's always like even in that example, the lesson is to get you back to trusting yourself. So how can that be bad? That feels
That yeah,
horrible.
feels bad. Ooh,
It sucks to have to go through the lesson. Like the lesson itself is wretched. Like
it
it's like,
is.
damn, couldn't we have found another way? But in actuality, if you catch it
Right.
and you don't have to repeat it, then praise God because now you're back on course. And the
Right.
Bible says that God chastises those he loves. So in
Right.
this chastisement, he's trying to get back in alignment.
Hmm.
And it's a good thing to have someone love you so much to say, whoa, 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 come, look, grab your hand and
Right.
yank your little behind back over to the right side of the court.
Yeah.
You on the wrong side.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
So,
it's also like loving yourself enough to know that you would never make a decision that would harm you. Like
right.
you're going to do what is best for you all the time. And I think that's why they says like God cannot fail because
Mm-hmm.
why would God destroy something that he created? And
Mm-hmm.
why would you? But in terms of us as human beings, we're going to do what is in our best interest
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that we can survive. And I think that's how, like, when you say there's like, people say, oh, this person is bad or whatever. Maybe that person was doing what they needed to do in that moment to survive. And
Mm-hmm.
that's even, I have to check myself and not be a hypocrite. Because even back to my crazy boss, maybe she was doing what she was doing, had to do to survive. She just had a child. I knew that
Mm-hmm.
she, for example, had to drive 2 hours and back and forth to go to work. So even though I had to do what I had to do, she had to do what she had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I agreed with it or not, we were both trying. And I think that's what, if humanity would understand that and have some empathy between each other, then we would be in a better place. Like there's no need for you to hoard money to the point that other people can't even live.
Well, the people that support your business at that,
I
these are
mean,
your
yes,
employees or you know what I'm saying? These are the people that support your business
right.
and keep the lights on. Like we cutting all these jobs and stuff in the federal government. We're cutting all this funding. And my whole thing is like, why do we feel like we can't create more abundance for ourselves? Why aren't we starting there? Why are we so hard on ourselves, so down on ourselves like that? We're in this deficit and da 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 da. We created the deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Surely we are smart enough to also create avenues to pull us out of it without harming ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How have we explored it? Why aren't we also willing to try to explore how to create more abundance? Because the fact of the matter is that when we get into this space of lack, we create lack. So here you are, you're cutting all these jobs and all that in order to create abundance, and the stock market has tumbled now. And people are concerned, and there's anxiety, and there's this and there's that, and it's all about like, well, hold on, this hasn't, you got to wait. Lack brings nothing more but more lack.
Yeah.
If desperation brings nothing but more desperation, you have to recenter yourself and say, okay, we're in this space. The right way could possibly be to cut some funding, but there's also, have we explored opportunities to generate more to subsidize? So um like there's a lot of conversation too about this really just being about giving the wealthy more cuts and more tax cuts, or the tax cuts are expiring soon, and wanting to ensure that those tax cuts can stay in place for the wealthy. At the same time, you're cutting yourself off at the knees, because the middle class and they are the ones that keep the economy going.
Mm-hmm.
The money that's at the top
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even circulate in the same circles as where it circulates. Like these people that are frantic and selling off everything, they're not the top class. The stock market is going down. You're losing billions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
in the stock market because the majority of people who are not at the top 10%, the
Mm-hmm.
majority of the people are afraid and
Right.
desperate,
Right.
because you're creating this lack and desperation mentality. If
Mm-hmm.
you recenter that into, we're going to generate more abundance, we're going to ensure that we are creating more jobs, we are going to be able to better align ourselves with our allies, we're working together to ensure that, we're creating more opportunity for more commerce and more, import export relation. Focus on doing good things, and good things will come to you. Every time you turn around and we talking about how we're going to penalize you because we haven't been getting enough, that's lack mentality, bruh. And it's never going to work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
You could have the same conversation and flip it, and it will be different. If
Mm-hmm.
you say we not getting enough. Y'all, we about to make y'all pay tariffs because of this. You could also flip it and say we need to better align, because right now we feel like we should be getting more out of this deal, and we want to ensure this partnership continues to grow. So how do we ensure that this partnership continues to grow for the American people without cutting you guys off at the knees? Because it's feeling imbalanced, and I want more balance. It's the same conversation, but you don't have to, you are approaching it from an abundant focused mindset versus a lack mindset. Like your intention is to bring abundance to the situation versus taking because you feel like you're not getting your share. So you're taking from them because you feel like you're not getting your share. When in actuality, you're hurting us both. I think that's the problem with this current administration. I don't know what's right. I'm not an economist. I don't know
Yeah.
if the
No, no.
tariffs
I
work or
mean,
don't work.
I
I'm not
don't think you
into
have to
that.
be an economist to feel and to know and to have an intuition about the way that things are being handled. Like you don't have to be an economist to do that.
I just feel like if we have the opportunity.
You know why? I think
Mhm.
because if a person that is lacking has to ask for something and be vulnerable, then you are afraid of what that means
If they say no.
if they say no,
Mhm.
or if you will be dependent on them always because of, or where you have to owe them something. If you come to someone in your most vulnerable stage and say, you know, I know that I haven't been charging you the
As
market
much as
price
you've been
for this,
charging me.
huh?
I
Right.
haven't been charging you
I
as much
haven't
as
been
you've been
charging
charging
you as
me.
much as you've been charging me for whatever reason.
Hmm.
But now I need that money that I need some things to change. Will that person then take advantage of what they may perceive to be a weakness or a lacking in your situation? Say, oh yeah, we're gonna give you this, but then
Well, why did I
10
call
years
you
down the
an ally
line,
in the
you go,
first
oh, but
place?
because you know why a person thinks like that is because that is the way that a person behaves the way that they project.
Hmm.
So you don't want to seem weak and vulnerable because you yourself know that you have taken advantage of weak and vulnerable people in your past. So you can't do that because you know there may come a time
You would do it.
where someone will do it to you. So when
Yeah,
you
you would
operate
be like you would take advantage of people, so you
right,
expect everybody else to take advantage of
exactly. So you
people
can't be free to make any kind of have any kind of relationship with anyone because you're just like, man, if they do me the way
the
that I
way I
did
would
other
do
people,
them.
and everybody knows the history of this current administration and him not paying people, him not, and I'm
Hmm.
just using this example. You're blocking your own blessing because you yourself are the problem. You know what I'm saying? You're
Hmm.
blocking these, but you can't have, and no one trusts you.
Well,
So
the
even
people
if
that
you, yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm saying, well, I feel like this is also a lesson for the people that voted him into office because it's like those people, they were very much about whoever they are, they were very much about, well, we need to get rid of this and we need to get more of this. And I want to see house prices be more affordable. And I don't want to vote this woman into office who is, I mean, who's focused on unity and creating opportunity. I want to focus on this person who, despite all the like failing this and blah, blah, that, he shows a better chance of making more money because I'm feeling lack right now. And so what's happened is it shows you the result of desperation. When you allow desperation to take hold.
Why are they desperate? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
I
mean to
think they're
interrupt.
desperate. I think people in this country right now are desperate because things are more expensive and salaries aren't really going up. It's scary. Like I was telling you, like the whole conversation I had with my mom, my parents about how my niece that people this is the first generation I've ever heard people feel sorry for. Ain't nobody feel sorry for the millennials. They was like, we paved the way for you, and you're gonna be all this. Da, da, da. This next generation, everybody's like, man, we fucked this up big time. Like, dang, y'all ain't even gonna be able to own a home or nothing.
And I think that when people are, I think that they're also afraid because they're losing power.
Hmm.
They might have a lot of money, but what is money when you don't have other things? People have found a way to survive. Like again, after COVID,
Hmm.
people was like, "We don't have to work at your job. You paying
Hmm.
this minimum wage." There have been other avenues, like we talked about the disruptors, other avenues of
Hmm.
people being able to find ways to earn money.
Hmm.
So I think that that's a part of it too. It's just like
But the thing too,
you know your time is coming.
this is the thing, they would not have been put in the position to find other avenues if you were just being fair from the jump. Nobody would have been thinking about, let me find another avenue to make more money had you just been paying people fairly from the jump.
hmm But you
So
can't
you,
do that because you think if they get into power, they're going to do what you did to
to
them
them, what,
to get
yeah,
there.
they're going to do to you what you did to them to get
That's
there.
why
And you
you
might be right.
that's why you got to keep them you got to keep them down because if they ever have an opportunity to rise up,
Pay
and
you back.
then the pay, right, they're going to pay you back. But that's the problem with racism in this country. That's the whole
Hmm.
problem with racism is that white
Verse.
people think that the
Hmm.
moment that we get into power, we are going to try to do XYZ to repay them back for everything.
Well, my whole thing too was like, that's the thing about being somebody who takes accountability for stuff,
Right,
though.
right.
Because when you're someone who takes accountability, you end the cycle.
Hmm. Yeah.
You end the cycle of
Yeah.
all of that. That's exactly what accountability is. It's like me wronging you,
Hmm.
then you coming back to me to
Hmm.
wrong me, and me saying, I acknowledge that I did you wrong and I apologize. The cycle is done
Yeah.
and we move forward. So it hasn't, so like all of this, like race people being upset about Black people getting in power and afraid of that. Listen, it's inevitable. If it's going to happen, it's going to
Going to
happen.
happen. It's not.
How you handle it is
Yeah.
going to dictate how hard it hurts.
Hmm.
You can also just say, I acknowledge and honestly, I want to fix it and I want it to be good and we can just move forward. I mean, I'm not trying to oversimplify things because there's a lot of hurt there.
Hmm.
But all of these wars and all these things that are going on, dude, like you want this territory because you feel like this territory belonged to you.
Hmm.
But now there's a new settlement there and they believe it belongs to them.
Hmm.
So you want to go take that territory back.
Hmm.
When in actuality, it's like the audacity of any of us to believe that any of this belongs to any of us.
Hmm. Hmm.
And how simple could it have been? Like, it's like, how, like getting those conversations into like conquering and da 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 and all that stuff is so interesting to me because it's like, why do you want that? Why do you need that? Why do you need more of that? It'd be one thing if there was land that was being misused or blah, miss whatever. I guess that's also objective. Like it depends on what you define as being misused or
Hmm.
whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like I own land and you own land right next door to me,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And you're like, well, that front yard used to be a part of my front yard, but then my grandfather sold that piece of it to your grandfather. Now it's yours,
Hmm.
but I do kind of want it back. But it's like, but baby, it's too late for that.
Right. It's not yours.
The decision has been made.
Hmm.
And until I'm ready to come up off it, I get to now decide, just like your grandfather got to decide.
Right. But
I get to decide if I
that's
want to
what they are
sell
trying
it.
to prevent. They're trying to prevent you from having
The choice.
ownership because
Mm-hmm.
that is what leads the world. People that have ownership over things have the right to say, no, you can't come over here and do this
Mm-hmm.
because that is against the agreement, the law that we had. So they're
Mm-hmm.
still trying to make sure you don't acquire ownership. You don't have ownership over anything because they want to enslave you so that you can, not physically, but in
Mm-hmm.
some way or another, keep you enslaved so that you can do what they want you to do when they want you to do it with no interruptions, with no objectives, or they will find a way to try to get rid of you. And that's what this whole situation is here. The what we have built in some instances, like you had the civil rights movement, when people came together and they fought for people, all rights, people, all colors, and things like that. I mean, what I don't understand about this country, what always gets me, is we could be the superpower that we really aspire to be when we understand the unique awesomeness between of all of us. We are a melting pot of people. We are the
Mm-hmm.
United States of America. Everybody comes here to build and to grow and to have families. We have all these different mixed cultures. Like we definitely should be more humanitarian focus than anything because we have so all the different humans from all the different globes
What's so
onto this
crazy
plate.
about that? You know what's so crazy about that? What I just thought about is that what we have created here can exist everywhere. We're not, you know what I'm saying?
It can, but
You all you have to do as a government or as a people or whatever is just decide, I see the model that the United States has created where it's well, where it was right now, it's in turmoil. I don't know what's going on here. But where it was when it was thriving and it was doing well and there was all these freedoms and expansion and in unity happening, I can just create it here.
but then you would have to figure out how you get around the fact that the United States is so the power. The reason why we're here the way we're here is because we did some pretty fricked up stuff.
No, but you don't have to take that same avenue to create that for yourself.
Right. You need to regulate. There should be some regulation. There
You
has to
just
be some
you
rules.
you can create free enterprise
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Business, you can attract business owners and business people anytime and let them come and generate and improve the economy and do all that. Any country can do that. Any country can allow people to have freedom to worship how they want and be who they want and live how they want and build business and create free enterprise and get health care and have thriving experiences and be happy.
Isn't that what they
Any
do
of
in
us can
Canada?
do that. It's cold there.
Nobody wants
Anyone,
to go there.
no one wants to go to where it's cold. In these like warmer nations need to figure it out. Anyone can create that for themselves. You don't have to come here. You have to have government that can understand that, oh, okay, we could do that. I think it's just
What is
more
the
people.
currency? I think that a currency has to be something other than money.
Well, that's what these people want, though. They are stuck on money. They want all the money. These dictators and,
But I don't think that all
whatever.
people need
They
that.
want money and they want the power. But in actuality, that shit is small stakes.
Yeah. I hope that people start to realize that this is the fact that we have everything that we need on this earth. We
We
have
just need
everything that we
peace,
need.
man.
We do need peace.
Peace is undervalued. That peace of mind, you become the greatest leader of the universe. You got all the power in the world and you can't even sleep at night. You
Yeah,
so worried somebody about to come after you and come take what you got.
right. Rightfully so sometimes. I mean, but it's
You
hard to get
know,
it back.
there's nothing more valuable than having that peace of like all is well. My people are supported. I'm supported. All is well. And we're going to keep moving forward and thriving. And it's easy to attain, but you so caught up in having that dollar and that power that now you've given away all your peace of mind. All your peace of mind is now gone. Same thing with our situations with the work situation. You could have peace of mind. We don't have to get into conflict,
I think it's
but
because
you're
people
so
don't.
insistent on being powerful and
Right,
right and on top
right.
that you miss the opportunity to just create a peaceful, thriving ecosystem.
I think that when you have peace and peace is silence, like I was thinking about going to like one of those Eckhart Tolle retreats, and he was
Mm,
just like most people that come because it's like a silent retreat and you have to be still.
I
And
definitely want to do a silent
and
retreat.
he's just like most people won't survive because they don't like themselves. Because when
Mm.
you turn off all the lights, when you turn off all the drama, when everybody has to shut
You
up, stop
hungry?
arguing,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to deal with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people don't want that silence because there's no one to blame, there's no one to point the finger at. Everything that is wrong is because it is wrong within yourself. And nobody wants that quiet time to sit there and be like, I have some work to do. Some people want the affirmation, some people want the accolades, some people need an
Mm-hmm.
external force to validate them. So as long as that external force is in chaos, then they have a distraction outside of themselves than to not do the work inside of themselves. And I think that's the problem with the United States. We are we're picking fights with everyone else so we don't have to deal with the mess that is internal. And the other
Mhm.
countries know it. And they're just like, y'all need to fix the wrongs that have been done. Y'all need to fix the way that y'all move inside of your country and all the decisions that you made. Mind your own business. That's why we're always in other countries doing things. Yes, we have to
Mhm.
make peace, but it's just like take care of home. Like take care of your house and your
But
things.
that's what they think they're doing, though. With all these tariffs and all that, they think they're taking care of home. That's what they believe they're doing.
I don't know what that means.
That's what they believe they're doing. They believe they're
Yeah.
putting America first and taking care of home and bringing back enterprise and creating more job stimulation with factories and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know the answer. Like I'm looking at the stock market and I'm like, well, when does that start to happen? Because even like the businesses, the corporations are not certain. So
Right.
when does this start to happen? When does everybody like the most economically advanced minds, people who actually are business owners who generate the money and employ the people, they're also like, where is this going?
Well, you know what?
So
I don't know where it's go because there's no money to follow. Where it's going to go is humanitarian currency. Like at some point in time, a group of people here are going to have to say, "We're in this together." Like
I
it's
mean,
going to
aren't
be a
we?
group of people that's going to flock and go to another country. And this is what it's going to be a group of people that's going to flock and they're going to move here, move there. They're going to go all elsewhere enterprise. But there are going to be some of us or whomever that say, I don't want to go anyplace else or I don't have any place else to go. And those people are going to be the ones that have to band together and fight for the what's left of this country because I didn't know that Indeed was owned by Japan, by a company in Japan. How are we allowing the Japanese to come in? They own a lot of buildings in the United States anyway. They these are our social security numbers. These are the people when you fill a job application, they know where you live, they know all this type of stuff. This company is owned and operated in from a company in Indeed. This is the job market.
I'm
Indeed,
saying, but we own businesses all over the place too. We got
but
businesses
but we're
everywhere.
more vulnerable right now because of all the things that are going on. And that's what I'm saying. The hypocrisy is they wanted to get rid of TikTok, but no one said get rid of Indeed. What is the government
I
go to?
mean, I don't think Japan is our, I don't know what the situation is. I think Japan is just trying to do their own thing. They don't even want to be in the conversation. They like, listen, we're doing great. Our economy is chill. Y'all like Samsung, y'all like Toyota. Cool.
I mean,
Just
you
be
hope
cool.
so.
Or we cool.
I mean, you hope so. You hope
You be
so.
cool, we'll be cool. Let's not get into all that. I don't really know. I mean, Japan, I don't really know. And China, I don't really know. And Russia, I don't really know. I just feel like I feel like why are we picking fights? Why is anybody picking fights? I feel like anytime somebody is picking a fight, they're the one that's in the wrong immediately. Like as we move forward into the future, maybe some of y'all will move to Mars or the moon or whatever y'all decide to do with your spaceships. Fine, go. But as we as a human race collectively on this planet move forward, why are we picking fights with each other? There's so many more things we could be doing. If you want to get to the money and get to the ownership, then let's talk about that. We can talk about that without
We're
picking
also
fights,
led
without
by
going
a
to
lot.
war.
We're also led by a lot of men.
Yeah, men don't
And
really
and
know
and
how
it's
to
and with them,
negotiate.
it's no talking. It is brute force. It is. But
so
when you have some people that are like, if Kamala would have came into office,
lacking
we
intellectually.
we could have sat there, we could have had some conversations. And the people that are good at having conversations, honestly, and I hate to say it like this, but like women, especially black women,
Mhm.
I know we got our problems in corporate America, but black people, that's why black people have a way of we're of something about understanding community. White people, I
Mhm.
think, I don't know if it comes from being a minority and not being always in a position of power. You have to depend on your word. You have to depend
Mhm.
on your character. You have to depend on your demeanor. You have to depend on the things that money cannot buy. And you cannot have an ego. You have to come with humility. And that humility that women and minorities and even in even like the LGBT community, and because you've been ostracized, because all those things, that humility, that adversity that you had to go through makes you more humble and able to negotiate and talk and have those. That's why black women this year, they were like, we taking off because this ain't got nothing to do with us. That's why Blake talking about black people out here line dancing and doing whatever, because we have come to a point in this country that the country has made it clear that they are not interested in creating life in abundance for everyone. They're
Mhm.
like, we're going to take this ship down because, and we're going to take everybody else down with it because we have to remain in power. We have to get all the money. Gimme, 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 gimme. That spirit never truly dies. And like Mark Twain said, history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes.
Mhm.
And so when you're dealing with stuff like that, you have to look for the patterns. And they are not going to change. So we have to figure out a way to the people that are have humility, have been through adversity, and are willing to work together as people, humanitarians, and do what's right for each other and help each other. We have got to start to stand up for each other, have the tough conversations with the people that don't look like us, that we know that their ancestors, for whatever reason, have caused whatever. It's time to say, like, yo, we got this. We need to stop because we can change. And I think that that's the thing. And you know, and then they can go off and do whatever they want. They can tear each other to death. They can go to war. But like we have to be like, nobody talks about Australia. They are down there minding their happy little business.
Somebody talking about them.
Nobody's talking about Australia. They down there minding their business. They down there eating shrimp off the Barbie, hanging out with kangaroos, drinking good beer, minding their business. I want to be like that. Can we be
I
like
just don't understand why, things are why why pick fights? I never understood bullies. I never understood bullies. Because you think about a bully, no one's bullying you. You are agitating the situation, right? So it's like everybody's doing their own thing, and then here you come. But you could also just keep doing your own thing and not being a bully,
because
but you're choosing to agitate.
they want the light. They have no light. The bullies are the girls that step in the line between you and the dog. That is the bully mentality. They want the light.
Mhm.
They feel like they're being left out because they have so much darkness in their heart that they know the only way that they can survive is to continue to be dark, or else that darkness will have to die. They will have to die. That darkness inside of them will have to die in order for them, because lightness and dark can't live in the same place. And
It's like they are so unseen,
mhm,
and they want to be seen so bad. It's like the bullies, it's just that they are so unseen, so unheard,
right.
and they just really, really want someone to see them and to
They
hear
do.
them.
They do.
But my whole thing is like, so when you have the opportunity to be seen and heard, you choose to force me to want to separate, like not to hear you ever again. You see what I'm saying? Like if I want to be seen and I want to be heard, I want to say something that makes you continue to want to see and hear me. I'm not going to approach you aggressively because all that's going to do is make you push away from me. So then if you really want to be seen and heard, then why not why not draw me into you versus pushing me away? Like her coming into the line like that, all aggressive and da 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 da. All it did was make me be like, I'm good. You got it. Like I stepped back. I was like, you got it. You're in a whole little island on your own. And as soon as you're out of my face, you are out of my grace. Like it's good. Peace out. Versus if your intention was really to be a part of what's happening, then why not approach it differently and say, that's my daughter. I hope you don't mind. I'm in both these lines. I'm just trying to see which one is shorter and we're trying to get out of here. And I'd be like, oh girl, of course. Like this line is crazy. Child, I know how you feel. And your daughter is so cute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have the option. I think too is when you're not a good communicator, you don't know how to articulate your own emotions. You also don't know how to create that space for yourself to receive
Exactly.
goodness.
Exactly.
So like maybe, you know, these bullies, because they are lacking in experiences to learn how to say, I want to be recognized in some kind of light.
Mhm.
The best way to articulate that is different. Like maybe that's something we should be
They
teaching people is
re-
how to um how to seek like attention or how to transmute that negative energy into a positive expression of itself. Because like even with that chick that you were dealing with
Mhm.
and she's feeling overwhelmed or she's feeling whatever she's feeling and
Right.
she has this person that's overqualified working in this role
Mhm.
and she wants to get more out of you, then the obvious thing to me is for her to say, hey, I know you just want to be this thing and we talked about it and I'm not against you, but honestly, I want to convince you to do this because I kind of need you to do this and I need help like getting that together and I think it's going to take off very soon or whatever, but talk to me about what you need because knowing your situation as I know it, it's not that you aren't capable or you don't want the responsibility, is that you've been burnt and you're tired of dealing with being burnt by people.
And she's not showing me that she's capable of handling by her own action. She wasn't
Mm-hmm.
showing that she was because I have ownership of what I have. Like that's mine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't show me that you're capable of handling, because
Mm-hmm.
you look like you mismanage so many other things. So
Mm-hmm.
you look like you're going to mismanage me. So it
Mm-hmm.
came to the point where I think, that's the thing. You can't trust people. But my thought was because we were in the house of God,
Girl, girl.
and maybe could be even to me that I should have surrendered myself to show that maybe
Mm-hmm.
that it's okay, it's cool over here on the side because it's clear that I saw, or maybe we both saw and had insight. And I think the devil got the best, the negativity got the best of the situation. The
Mm-hmm.
spirit of negativity prevailed between she and I, whereas the light of God should have. But we both were maybe we're both broken in some way, shape, or form. And that brokenness.